Welcome back to the Playdate. I'm your host, Kaitlin Hansen.
And I am your host, Fifi Latteier.
Fifi, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. Well, today we are talking about one of your birth stories. So I'm excited to dive in and hear all about it. Which one are we going to talk about today? Which child?
I will probably talk about my most recent.
Yes.
My youngest, my little girl, Stevie.
Cute. And remind everybody how many months?
So she is going to be 6 months.
Okay, perfect.
So obviously I chose her because it's like the most
fresh.
on my
Yes.
mind. But I also think she's the most different. My other four were actually all very similar.
Really?
Yes. I know births are all different.
Yeah.
But those four were pretty much the
You're like,
same.
they're all wrapped in together.
Yeah.
No, I love that. Did you, so walk us through. Did you get induced? Did you go into labor?
For my first kid, actually, he's the only one I've ever been induced with.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I actually find it kind of funny. I kind of just choose the day I want to give birth.
Wait, I love that.
Like, I just manifest it.
What?
I'm not even kidding.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
And usually it's at like 38 weeks because I don't want to go at 40.
Oh, no.
And so, my doctors always set me up for a 39 week induction.
Sweet.
But I've never actually
You've never made it.
Okay. Yeah. So
that's amazing.
So same kind of situation going into my birth story with this one was I went in for my routine 38 week.
Yeah.
And I just asked my doctor, I'm like, hey, I'm ready to be stripped.
Yeah.
And without fail, and you know what? Let me preface for everybody else. And what is the correct term? It's not strip your membranes.
Oh, like sweeping?
Sweeping.
A sweep.
Yes.
Yes.
So sweeping your membranes, it might not work for everybody.
Yeah.
Like I have a sister-in-law who she had to do it 3 times and it just didn't work.
That's what I did. With my first, I did, I think 3 or 4 times. And then I was like 9 days overdue.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this isn't doing anything.
Yeah. For some people, it literally doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
But for me, I can get sweeped. And so I learned that on my second kid.
Yes.
I can do that. So I go into the doctors and I have my membrane swept. Earliest appointment that I can get booked.
Yeah. Do you feel like it hurts way freaking bad? It took my breath away at first.
I think for when I first got it done, ever, I was like, well, that was weird.
Yeah.
I didn't know what else to think. And I had some friends where did that hurt or what? And I was just like, I don't know.
I just didn't know what to expect, I think. And I went in and I was like, oh my gosh, ow.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's been times where I feel like I was it was way too hard.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a little aggressive up there.
I know. So but that's the thing. When I go in and I book the earliest one, my membranes get swept. I know I'm having that baby that day.
Oh my gosh.
And so that's why I'm always manifesting. I'm no, I'm going to have the baby on this day. And without fail, I always do. And so
that's really cool though. You're like, I can kind of plan it.
Yeah. It's not without effort because right after I leave the hospital, I go and I jump off boxes.
Do you?
And I'm doing box jumps.
Wait, I love
and
that.
Squats and all the things.
You're like, I'm making the baby.
I'm on the Stairmaster. It's literally those things.
I jumped on a trampoline with my second and was like, high knees. I'm like, this baby is getting out.
See, I would have done the same thing if I had a trampoline.
Which I don't think that's recommended. I don't know.
No, we won't. Yeah.
I mean, probably don't do that, but I needed the baby out.
Yeah. So they were like, walk curbs, go exercise or do something. And I was like, okay, great, I will. And so I did that. And then when I got closer and I packed the bags to go to the hospital, but it's kind of funny because I just don't want... I don't know why, but I feel like I would be so embarrassed if they turned me away from labor and delivery.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want to go home. I don't want that.
I just have
your head down.
I have this anxiety of going and then saying no, honey, go home.
Yeah. So you're like, I'm making sure I'm in labor when I get there.
Yes. And so I made sure I for sure felt okay, this baby must be coming.
Yeah.
So I packed the bags and stuff, but I didn't go to the hospital
Oh,
yet.
you did it.
I walked I walked the parking structure.
Oh my gosh.
So I walked it for, I don't know, 20 more minutes.
Yeah.
Up and down the stairs. And so there's like 4 levels.
Oh my gosh.
But we did it.
Yeah.
My husband was just kind of laughing. And
Yeah.
I mean, we've done that 4 times.
Oh my gosh. So this is nothing.
That was routine. So after that, though, obviously I got checked in.
Yeah.
And we got through and like, I don't know, it's like the best feeling ever when they come in and confirm you're staying.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel so excited all of a sudden that I can feel excited I'm having the baby.
Yes. It's a for sure thing.
Before they just send me.
Yes.
Yeah. So when we get checked in and that feeling comes over, I love it.
Yeah.
But I think I definitely might not be the same. Like, I've had cousins or friends that have had harder births and this and that,
Sure.
or even longer ones.
Yeah.
And like, for me, I think that that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Is like, I'm done with being pregnant.
Yes.
And I love giving
Light
birth.
at the end of the tunnel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a friend like that like loves birth. At least her first one. She was like, I would give birth every single day.
Yeah. I could do it over 9 months pregnancy for sure.
Yeah.
And so, we get in and now we're kind of getting settled. I really loved my nurse.
Oh, good. And did you use the same doctor for all of your births?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes it nice.
So, yes, I used the same doctor. And this nurse, though, I can't remember her name.
No, that's okay. It's all a blur.
I think I can. I'm going to go with Mikkel.
Okay, I love it.
Mikkel.
That feels right.
But I loved her. She checked me in and she stayed with me for quite some time. But she was the one I went through everything with. Like, I set my birth plan with her.
That makes it nice.
Yeah. And she was so supportive in the right way.
Yeah.
So, like, backtrack really quick. When I had my child before Stevie, I had a nurse that when I told her my birth plan, I was like, I want to go natural.
Yeah.
She was like, I've got you. I will support you. I will make sure nothing happens and gets in the way of this. And I loved that. I really did. But then I got scared.
Yeah.
And I wanted the epidural.
Yeah, which that's fair.
But I felt so weird that I couldn't advocate for myself to my own nurse. Because I felt pressured that she really wanted me to go natural.
She's like,
Yes. But on this side, like, this nurse just made me feel so comfortable. And she's like, I will do anything you want me to.
Yeah. Good. That's what you need. Because like things change during labor and you never know how you're going to feel. So.
Yeah. No, for sure. And so that was one of the things, like, right off the bat, I told her I wanted to go natural. And so they set up the room for it where it was super quiet. The lights were dimmed. And like, it wasn't necessarily the type of vibe I was going to go for.
Sure.
Really. I didn't mind. But it was, I think, like almost evening hours, like getting late. So it's fine. Like, we were going to go to sleep most likely.
Yeah.
Or at least my husband was not.
Yeah.
Me. When we got settled and everything, like, I called my sisters, and I think that's what made it also pretty special was I've actually never had anyone else in there other than my mom or my husband.
Oh, cute.
And so, for 5 kids, my mom was only there for 2.
Yeah.
And then the rest were just my husband and I.
Yeah.
So I let my sisters know when we were checking into the hospital that I would love for them to be there.
Okay, wait, that's so special. That is like, I'm sure that they felt honored and like, what a cool experience.
Yeah. No, I really did love having them there. There was like a blip in time where I was like, I don't know, I might be regretting this. But it's only, okay, it was kind of funny. As we're going through it, I'm going through like the contractions and they're kind of like really tolerable. Like they're fine.
Yeah.
And so my sisters kind of came in ready to party.
Yeah. And do you know what were you dilated to when you like got checked in?
When I got checked in, I was at a 5.
Okay.
And so I actually usually dilate pretty early on, even before I start laboring.
Yeah.
So before that, I was a 3 at my like 37-week appointment.
Yes.
And so I just know I go fast.
Yeah.
And so when I checked in, I was at a 5. And so like I didn't really know how fast it would go because I wasn't on any Pitocin.
Right.
And so by the time my sisters did arrive, like again, they came ready to party, so they brought all the treats and a speaker, and they're like blasting music.
And at this point, you're like feeling it.
I wasn't yet. Like I was kind of like, okay, we're chilling.
Yeah.
I'm eating ice and like, but then my sister's getting on top of me and my bed, and she's like taking the most terrible angle picture of my life.
You're like, thanks for that.
Yes. I have the funniest videos from that. But now I guess my husband, you know what? He kind of felt awkward and he really made himself scarce.
Yeah.
So I did not imagine that either.
Yeah.
For the type of vibe I was going for. So I started to pick up in like, the surges. Like I was getting more contractions.
Okay.
And they were getting stronger. And this time around, I think this labor was like all in my back.
Really?
And that sucks.
Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah. Having like laboring in your back just hurts so bad.
However, I should preface, I don't even know much about labor because I had C-sections.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm like, I pushed for 2.5 hours on my first one and then had to have an emergency C-section. So I'm like, I don't actually even know. I don't know about labor.
No, you do.
I
do.
Type. Yes, that's true. That's true.
When I did start having like more powerful surges, like I wanted the quiet.
Yeah.
And I wanted
the calm. Yes.
Especially because I did use a program I specifically like prepared myself for like a whole year.
Yeah.
And so like I used Christian hypnobirthing.
Okay, cool.
That was the program I used. And I didn't go to like an in-person type like birth class.
Yeah. Would you recommend that?
Oh, yeah. I would 100% recommend that to anyone. I loved Christian hypnobirthing. There's just a lot of informative videos about your body and its like biology and how birth works. And it just really helps create more knowledge. And, knowledge is power.
Yeah. Oh, for
sure.
sure.
And so the more you know, the stronger you feel and more capable. And so that's kind of why I went that route. But I wanted, from the beginning of this pregnancy, I wanted to go natural because I knew this was going to be our last child.
Yeah.
And I wanted to feel it. And I spoke to my husband about it before it happened and all of that and prepared him on like, I need you to do this. This is what counter pressure feels like. I need you to say this to me. Please, I think that's so don't
smart,
ever do this.
Though, like advocating, what you need and
Yeah. And I told him, I was like, I need you to know this now before we get into the room so that you know how to support me.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I might say something rude.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. You don't know what's going to fly out. No.
And so I am so glad, though, that I did take that time. Like, I showed him how counter pressure felt on him so that he knew how to do it with me. But then, like, every night leading up to labor, I listened to the affirmations from the app. And Christian Hypnobirthing, their app and their affirmations is literally amazing.
Okay, I love it. Out. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's just so beautiful. Like the affirmations that like stuck out to me a lot were like, I am capable. My body knows exactly what it's doing.
Yeah.
And it was saying like, my body knows exactly what to do to deliver this baby, just as it knew exactly what to do to grow this baby.
Oh.
And so like, I loved all of those affirmations. And like, another one is, I'm in this room full of love and kindness. This baby was born of love.
That like
and
makes
will be
me
born
misty.
into love.
Oh,
I love it. I love
that's
it.
So sweet.
And so, yes, I would listen to it every night and just kind of go to sleep to it. I would listen to it in the car, just on drives. But it was really to get me into the mindset to, when I hear this, this is the feeling I will feel.
Yeah.
And so when I started listening to the affirmations, I think I felt a lot more calm. And, my sisters, yes, they were rambunctious and I almost kicked them out. No, I told them afterwards, I was like, you guys are like, came so close.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I know that you were doing that because you love me and you were so excited.
Yes.
But as soon as they saw the tears coming down on one contraction, they stopped.
They're like, okay, this is our time to settle down.
Oh, yeah. And then my sister, I thought it was so funny. I got out of bed to go to the bathroom. And as soon as I jumped right back into bed to kind of sit down, she looked at me and I was like, what? And she's like, I thought you were kidding.
Oh.
I know. She's like,
Oh
I
my
thought you were
gosh.
kidding. And that you actually had, I mean, an epidural, but you were just saying you were
What?
going natural. And I'm like,
You're like,
I'm like,
no.
girl, what? I would never lie
Yes.
about that.
Oh my gosh.
So when she saw my legs
Yeah.
working, she believed me.
Yeah. She was like, oh, wow, this actually is like the real deal.
Yeah. So after that, the lights did dim a little bit. It got calmer. I told my husband, because when he was making himself scarce, I grabbed a hold of him and I was like, I need you here.
Yes.
And I was like, no matter how uncomfortable you might be because you think I want this, I want you.
Yeah.
And I was just like, don't leave my side.
Yeah. He's your person.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so as soon as I said that, he stayed with me the whole time. And I just felt so strong. But I must preface, I honestly think that giving birth naturally,
Mm-hmm.
I think I have a high pain tolerance.
Yeah.
Because I've had so many people ask me, like, how did it feel? Like, did it just hurt so much or whatever? And truthfully, I can't give a straight answer.
Yeah.
Because when I did feel all of this surges, and that was one of my things, I had to rewire my brain to view pregnancy differently.
Okay.
Well, beforehand, contractions, we didn't call them contractions. We called them surges.
Okay.
And with each surge, it brings me closer to my baby. And so that was the thoughts I had to have to remain calm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the biggest things of Christian hypnobirthing was because there can't be fear. Where there is faith, there can't be fear.
Yeah.
And
how cool.
I think that from a spiritual sense, I love that. But even on a scientific perspective, it actually runs very deep. When you're fearful and you're scared, when a contraction comes, your body seizes up and it tenses.
Yeah.
And it's a natural thing to do. And so if you're not full of fear or being scared of what's coming, your body just remains relaxed and it can open up freely.
Yeah.
And so that was what I had to do. And I'm not even going to lie. Sometimes I lost it a tiny bit and I had to find my way back to feeling that calm.
What did you have to do to find your way back?
It's funny because I thought it was all fake. But the breathing techniques are they're so helpful.
Yeah.
But it's to ground you. And so when you breathe, there's certain breathing techniques that help you just kind of prepare for the surge and feel it and embrace it. Because you don't want to push it off because then your body's seizing up.
Yeah.
So when we're embracing that and then we let go of it all, your body actually releases and it does open up naturally.
Cool.
So that you're not fighting the contraction at the same time. And so the breathing techniques really helped me get there, but so did just a little quick glance at my husband and knowing he was there.
Yeah.
And again, biologically, it makes sense because my body needs to feel love. That's oxytocin. And that's the hormone that actually helps you further labor along.
Right.
And so I didn't need the synthetic Pitocin.
Yeah.
Because I had oxytocin kind of pulsing through my body. And I thought that was awesome I didn't really think much of it with all of my other births. But because I did have Pitocin all the other times. But oxytocin really helped me feel more calm and more loved and more, I don't know, just empowered to do what I was going to do. And so there was a time though, I was getting closer and closer because I was going natural. You're able to do intermittent checks.
Okay.
And so I don't have the monitors on my belly the whole time or anything.
That's nice.
And I can do whatever. I got up and I would bounce around on the yoga ball.
Yes.
We were just having fun and doing whatever. And so when it did get closer, I did find my way back to the bed. And it was partly because I didn't think I could stand.
Sure.
Whereas I know that there's so many videos where moms are standing and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. But I'm going to sit.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing this video. I don't know if a lot of women know this, but your back, your tailbone, where it is, it's normal. So imagine it's sitting right there.
Okay.
But it lifts off.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And that's why it hurts so much. Because
Really?
it literally shifts out and like you can literally see it.
Oh my gosh.
And so I felt that and I knew I was getting close because I started to feel it and I didn't know what it was at the time.
Yeah.
But I was like, ow, ow, ow. I need to turn on my knees.
Yeah.
The pressure in my back was just wild. But I didn't, at the time, I didn't know.
Did you
that
like
bone was
carry in
coming.
your back too?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Because I swear that baby was all up front.
Yeah.
So I knew I was getting close because I could feel like the literal bone shifting.
Yeah. Oh my
kind of
gosh.
different.
Yeah. I felt like, I don't know if this is normal and maybe this is like TMI. I could tell that it was time to push because I thought that I was going to like poop my pants.
I know that's it.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. And they're like, no, that means you're ready.
No, that's what they told me. They're like, if you feel like you're going to poop, like just tell us. And I'm like, okay, that's weird, but I get it.
Yeah.
I get the
that is like the feeling. I was like, I don't know if everybody had that experience, but I'm like, oh my gosh. That's like what it felt like to me.
No, I 100% understand. Because then, I mean, I got on my all fours and I'm like, I propped the bed up and I'm like leaning over and like I was receiving all these surges. And I do have to say, and I'm not saying this to boast.
Yeah.
Because I do think I have a huge like pain tolerance.
Yeah.
My room was pretty quiet.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the loudest I got was when I actually pushed my baby out.
Yeah.
But most of the time it was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. Just like
stomach cramps.
Yeah.
That was like the type I was
gosh.
like, I know. I thought it was kind of crazy, but I also 100% like, I think that was because I was prepared through Christian hypnobirthing.
Yeah.
Because then I was on my knees for like maybe 2 minutes and my doctor wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
And he was like super, like he almost refused to sweep my membranes that morning because he wanted to be there and he knew he was like off that day.
Oh.
He literally just came in that morning to sweep
Oh my
me.
gosh.
Because I told him, I was like, if you don't, I have a labor and delivery nurse friend.
You're like, I'll find another way.
I will. I was like, this is my 5th kid. I know how to do it myself.
Yes.
Just kidding. We don't know how to do those.
Don't do that at home.
No, because it hurts.
Yes.
It will hurt worse if you do it.
Yeah, because you don't know what you're doing.
So when I was on my knees for like 2 minutes, though, I could feel like it getting stronger and stronger. And I remember I like said to my husband, I'm like, stop touching my hips. Like, don't do that. Counter pressure. It hurts. And he was like, I'm not touching you. I know. He's like, I'm not even touching you. And I turn around and I go, what the heck?
You're like, then who is?
I know. I was like, oh my gosh, calm down because I might lose it again. I might lose my breath. So I had to like calm down.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was coming then.
Yeah.
And then actually when the baby did come out, there was no one to catch the baby. Except
what?
I was like, you guys, I feel something. I feel something. And my nurse is like calling out to the on-call doctor.
Oh my gosh.
Like it's 11 p.m.
Yeah.
And my other doctor, he like was speeding down trying to come and get to the birth room because he didn't want to miss it.
Right.
And I just was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to give birth and it's
fine.
He's
he's not going to be there.
I was like, it's fine.
Yeah.
And so then the baby kind of fell out.
Really? Just like on the bed.
Yeah. Like I felt the surge. I felt the contraction come. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're there. And I just was like.
Just shoots out.
I did. And my main reason why I feel like I did that was I was like, why would I just like go little by little?
Yeah.
I'm like
just get the baby out.
It was funny. I just 100% like fire shot that baby out.
Oh my gosh. Wait, I love that. Okay. And then did you do like, I know a lot of people do like delayed cord clamping after. What was the situation after?
No. So we did do like immediate sacred hour after. So baby did skin to skin with me. But it was so funny because right after I had the baby and they're like, when I first laid eyes on my baby, like I thought it was funny because my sister told me, she's like, oh my gosh, Fifi. And she's like, I'm so excited for you. Turn around. And I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
I honestly, my body just was hit by so much all at once.
Yeah.
That I like needed a minute that I just stared at the
Yeah, you're like, I just did this. So
Yeah, but I like didn't feel like I physically could turn around yet.
yeah.
And I'm like, wait, I can't.
Yeah.
So then,
Did you feel like you were just like so tense from like
yeah, like
everything?
after the baby, just like after I just pushed that baby out, like I literally felt like I couldn't move.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm like gripping the bed. They're like, you're good. And I go, I know. I hold on.
Yeah, you're like, am I though?
I know. And so then like they did the cord clamping, my husband was able to cut the cord though.
So cool.
And then after I got on my back, we did the skin to skin with baby, and my sisters just were the best support team as well. Like while they were up front holding my hands, or my sister was like wiping away the sweat and like fanning
that's
me.
Sweet.
My brother, Jake, no, my husband, it was in the back, and he was giving me all the counter pressure when I needed it. But then, like, when they were taking care of baby, my husband was, like, taking care of me, and I think that's just what I really needed a lot more of, especially in that moment. Like, I just did this, and I feel so powerful, but I also feel so weak at the same time.
Well, that's, like, so much energy that you just exerted.
Yeah, I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people are like, you didn't expect that from giving birth naturally. And I'm like, no, I mean, I didn't.
Well,
I was like,
think,
I just don't
things
set
just
any
surprise
expectations.
you, like, more like if you don't give, like, a ton of thought to it too.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think, okay, so like going back before Stevie, when I was giving birth to my other daughter, I really was so set on going natural and having this whole experience.
Yeah.
But I got to an 8, and again, that pain tolerance was crazy with her because I didn't even feel anything really.
Okay.
I wasn't in pain.
Yeah.
And I got to an 8. But the reason why I got scared and needed an epidural was because the doctor, or not the doctor, the nurse, she's like, oh my gosh, and blah, blah, blah. And she starts talking about the ring of fire. And
You're like, please don't.
No.
Not the time.
No. I was like, what's the ring of fire?
Yeah.
I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
And she goes on to tell me what the ring of fire is.
No, this is
and
not
I
the
was just
time.
like, I know my eyeballs were just like so wide and bulging out of my head. And that's when immediately when she exited the room, I turned to Jake and I was like, find the next nurse.
Yeah.
And tell her I need an epidural.
Yes.
Like, I love her. I knew she was so supportive, but also that scared the crap out of me because I didn't know what that was. And then I felt all of a sudden that I didn't prepare myself enough.
Sure.
But come to find out, it's because nobody talks about birth that way.
Yeah.
Because if you think of the ring of fire like that and giving birth, and that's how it's going to feel, then you're kind of setting yourself up for a possible negative experience.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you just reframe the way that birth is to you, like your expectations could shift, but also like you just will go in feeling a lot more powerful rather than like educated on this side. Yeah, I don't know.
No, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, like I didn't need to know that, but I needed to know how to get my baby here safely, naturally, and also as best as possible.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I felt it went, but I loved it. I really did. And I kind of, like, after I gave birth to her naturally, I always thought, man, I wish I did this earlier.
Okay, that was going to be my question was if you were to have another baby, you would do another natural birth.
100%.
How cool.
Yeah, because also post-birth, like, it was so awesome. Like, I was walking around, like, a lot.
Amazing.
But I felt fine.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't any, like, swelling from Pitocin that comes. Like, my back wasn't aching anymore from, like, an epidural.
Yes.
Like, there was achiness, but it was better.
Yeah.
So I loved it a lot.
Oh, amazing. Well, that, like, was the best. I love that birth story. That's incredible. And, like, what a strong note to, like, end on. So I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And thanks, everybody, for listening.